Om Sri Lakshmi Narsimhaya Namaha, Valmiki Ramayana, Sundara Kanda, Chapter 57. Hanuman returns to the mainland. Summary. Hanuma leaps from the coast of Lanka and touches Mount Mainaka, which he came across in the way. He advances further and roars at the top of his voice at the Mount Mahendra, so as to bring jubilations to the monkeys awaiting his return there. Jambavanta tells the monkeys, who moved by jumps with joy on hearing Jambavanta, that Hanuma has returned successfully from his expedition, as way evident from his jubilant roar. Having greeted Jambavanta, Angada and others on alighting on the summit of Mount Mahendra, Hanuma narrates to them briefly the story of his discovery of Seetha. Applauding Hanuma, Prince Angada, who was eager to hear the story, sits down on a rock along with all others. Chapter 57 in detail. Hanuma, with a rush equal to that of wind, without a fatigue, leapt across the boundless sea, looking analogous to sky, like a large ship crossing the ocean. In that pleasant and auspicious sky-like sea shone the moon, as a white water-like sea shone, having the constellations known by the name of Pushya and Shravana as swans, the clouds as its duckweeds, the twin constellations, the Punarvasus as its large fish, the planet Mars as its large alligator, a large island as Airavata, Indra's elephants, graced with a swan in the form of the constellation Swati, having gales as its waves. The moon became as its cool water, and with Nagas, Yakshas, and Gandharvas as its full-blown lotuses and water lilies. While moving in the sky, the illustrious Hanuma, the son of wind god, and the great monkey appeared as if following the sky, scratching the moon and carrying off the sky with its stars and the disk of the sun, and was going as though dragging asunder a mass of clouds. Dense clouds with white and red colors, blue and yellow colors, as also green and reddish-brown colors shone brightly in the sky. Time and again, entering and coming out of the cluster of clouds, Hanuma appeared like the moon, becoming visible and invisible again and again. The heroic Hanuma, who was clad in white clothes, having found his way into various kinds of dense clouds and emerging again, and having his personality becoming visible and invisible, shone like the moon in the sky. Tearing into parts the cluster of clouds again and again, as also emerging from them and roaring with a big noise, Hanuma, the son of wind god, making a thunderous great sound, shone, flying like Garuda, the eagle, in the sky, killing the foremost of demons, becoming famous by his name, making Lanka perplexed, causing anguish to Ravana by tormenting his terrible army, and bidding his farewell to Seetha. Hanuma returned by flying over the middle of the sea. Touching Mount Mainaka, the victorious Hanuma came with a great speed, resembling an iron arrow discharged from a bowstring. Approaching a bit near and observing Mount Mahendra, the great mountain, looking like a dense cloud, that Hanuma made a loud noise. Emitting a great roar, that Hanuma, whole loud noise, resembling the rumbling of a cloud, filled the whole space in all directions with the noise. Having reached that place, Hanuma, who was ardently desirous of seeing his friends, roared and waved his tail. The sky, with the disk of the sun, began to crack, as it were, due to his roar, even as he repeatedly roared on the path of the sky, as followed by Garuda, the eagle endowed with charming wings. Those mighty heroes who were waiting already on the northern shore of the sea, with an eagerness to see Hanuma, heard there at the time the sound produced by the sweeping motion of Hanuma's thighs, which resembled the roar of a huge cloud propelled by the wind. All those monkeys who were distressed in mind for not having heard the news of Seetha heard Hanuma's roar, similar to the roar of a rumbling cloud. Hearing that roar of Hanuma, who was making the sound, all those monkeys stationed there in all the directions became anxious, desirous of seeing their friend. The Jambavan, the foremost among the monkeys and bears, with his mind thrilled with joy, having summoned all the monkeys, spoke the following words: "This Hanuma has accomplished his assignment in all ways. His sound will not indeed be like this if he has not fulfilled his task. There is no doubt in this matter." Hearing the sound of the dashing movement of the high-souled Hanuma's arms and thighs, the monkeys moved by jumps with joy from their respective places. Those monkeys with joy, longing to see Hanuma, took off from the top of one tree to the top of other tree, as also from one mountain summit to the other summit. Those monkeys grasping the boughs of the at the top of trees and standing there firmly joyously waved the twigs as if they are their raiments. The mighty Hanuma, the son of wind god, roared as though the wind roars while it enters the caves of mountains. Seeing that Hanuma, then rushing like a dense cloud, all those monkeys stood there joining their palms in salutation. The swift Hanuma, looking like a mountain, then descended on the summit of that Mount Mahendra thick with trees. Hanuma, like a mountain, with its wings torn off, thrilled with joy, fell from the sky into a charming mountain torrent. Then all the foremost of those monkeys, with their pleasing hearts, stood surrounding the high-souled Hanuma. Having encircled Hanuma, all of them obtained a supreme joy. All those monkeys, with their delightful faces, taking roots and fruits as their presents, honored Hanuma, the foremost among the monkeys, who came back hale and healthy. Then Hanuma, the excellent one among the monkeys on his part, offered his salutation to venerable persons and elders like Jambavanta in the first place, as also Angada the prince. Jambavanta and Angada honored the victorious and venerable Hanuma. The other monkeys also made him gracious. Hanuma informed them briefly that he had seen Seetha. Then, seizing the hand of Angada, Vali's son, Hanuma sat down at a distinct spot in the charming forest of Mount Mahendra. Then the pleased Hanuma spoke the following words to those excellent monkeys. I saw that Seetha, the daughter of Janaka, who was staying in Ashoka garden, guarded unblemished by highly dreadful female demons and wearing a single braid, young woman as she was, longing to see Rama, thoroughly fatigued due to her fasting, with her hair twisted together, wearing soiled clothes and looking emaciated. Hearing from Hanuma that important and nectar-like word to the effect that Seetha had been seen, all the monkeys became delighted. Some mighty monkeys made a lion's roar. Some were making a sound of approbation. Some were making a sound of thunder. Some others produced cries expressing joy. Some others were roaring in return. Some eminent monkeys, with joy and with their tails lifted up, waved their distended, curved tails. Descending from the mountain tops, some other monkeys, with delight, fondling, touched Hanuma, who resembled an elephant. After hearing the words of Hanuma, Angada spoke the following excellent words in the midst of those eminent monkeys. O Hanuma, since you returned here, crossing the extensive ocean, none stands equal to you in strength and prowess. What amazing is your devotion to that Lord! What a wonderful prowess! What a surprising courage! By our good fortune you saw the illustrious Seetha, Rama's consort. Thank heaven! Rama can give up his sorrow born out of Seetha's separation. Very much delighted, the monkey then sat on extensive flat rocks encircling Angada, Hanuma and Jambavanta. Longing to hear about the crossing of ocean and the seeing of Lanka, Seetha and Ravana, all those excellent monkeys waited with their joined palms in anticipation of Hanuman's words. The auspicious Angada, encircled by many monkeys there, waited like Indra, the lord of celestials, who was waited upon by celestials in heaven. The high and large summit of the mountain on which were seated then with delight the illustrious Hanuma and the famous Angada with bracelet worn on his upper arms stood blazed with splendor. Thus completes 57th chapter of Sundara Kanda of the glorious Ramayana of Valmiki, the work of a sage and the oldest epic. Sri Moola Rama Vijayate. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.